the best is on the belly because it's the warmest, making yourself a high breathe motherfucker. So what I wanted to say about the business is that really when we are in our daily workload, what we are doing with the clients in tech, also using the different instruments. I mean, I'm using my brain, but not in all of the tasks which I'm doing. I'm not putting my soul, or like my soul is really many times suppressed, and I can imagine that if people don't really walk the path of consciousness or don't take care of their soul or like being a human of the humanity as such, or don't develop in this direction, that they can really lose themselves in the tech world, which I think that might be really problematic in the future, and especially with the AI. Because many people, for example, lose their job because they don't have a skill of the AI. And we should not be the slaves of the artificial intelligence to just, fill in the data for AI to be able to think behalf us. Artificial intelligence is a really powerful tool, and it's the powerful tool to serve us. We should not serve the AI. The AI should serve us all the time, and everything what AI produce should be double-checked by the human. And I think that many people just take it really easy, this kind of phenomenon, that they think that actually we will be serving the AI, or they don't think about it at all. And Wim Hof was today speaking about big tech, about what is going on in the world of globalization, and that it's just not all right. And I also can sense it, I can feel it, that, for example, if I am really prioritizing myself in daily life. I am doing conscious sport, I'm doing the conscious cooking, I am eating healthy. All right, sometimes I also have the cheat days, cheat meals, etc. But I think that from the point of the humanity and consciousness, I am in the advanced stage. However, it can really sometimes be that I get also lost like other people, and there needs to be the training done, there needs to be consciousness about this method, what we actually did today during the Wim Hof method, because I found it incredible. And I would really recommend it to anybody. It's life experience. So we went really crazy, really hard. Usually what we experience today is not really necessary in this direction. Usually it's enough to have just a few minutes. We went really crazy, but it was really cool. I'm also trying to remember what else Wim Hof was saying. Unfortunately, I didn't have like a notes or like pen so that I can write all of the things that we were speaking about. However, what I also liked is that when we know how to control our mind, we are not that much manipulative. So not a lot of people can manipulate us if we know how to control our mind, our emotion, and if we take us as we are, our souls, and the emotions are actually the way how our soul is speaking. And we are all full of love. However, problem is that in our world, love is actually taken as granted, is something stupid, perceived by many people, and there is more conflict happening, there is more fear around, which is more normalized than love. And the love for ourselves is really necessary for nowadays world of the fast-paced environment of the tech, and we really have to start with ourselves before we start with other things. Everything around us is about the Mother Nature. So everything what Mother Nature is giving us is here for us, and we really are forgetting to connect with the mother nature. And after the first exercise with Wim, I could really sense much more. Like I could see the back, I could see the details of the back. I could really felt the gratitude of me being here at this moment, and like to enjoy this workshop, and just think about how can I put it on another level? How can I, for example, share this knowledge with Cedric, my fiance? How can I share this knowledge with my beloved parents? And also with my brother, with whom we have a lot in common in this aspect, and we do the ice baths together. Or also, how can I put it in my daily life? Because what we are doing here now during this weekend, by the way, it starts on Saturday at 11, and it ends at 6. And then the next day there is the main challenge, which I will be also speaking about after. But I was really interested in how I can bring this to my daily life, because for me, ice bath is something that I'm practicing, but I'm practicing it impulsively. It's not something that I included in my daily life, in the aspect that, like every day, for example, in the evening, I'm usually really ambitious, and I'm telling to myself, oh, tomorrow I will be really productive, and tomorrow morning I will go and I will have the ice bath in the morning. But then morning happens, and I'm like, no, ice bath is not really happening. So I really couldn't find a way how can I bring the ice baths into my daily life. And I think that after this exercise, the workshop that we did today, I have the power to actually bring it into my daily life. And I will actually speak about it how. Also, another interesting thing is that motto of the Wim Hof are the three things, what he's always saying, and what he wants to make the people who come to him, or what is actually the objective of the whole Wim Hof method, is to make people happier, stronger, and healthier. Yes, these three things, which at the end of the workshop you will definitely feel. And it was really incredible. Also, like he was speaking about the different scientific papers that are being published, and what is the outcome of the science. So we are not here speaking about philosophy. We are not speaking about that some guy just woke up one day and he had the ice bath, and since then like all the world is just upside down because of him. No, that's not true. It's really based by the science. He, for example, told us that last year he was part of the scientific research where they took 36 ampoules from him of the blood, and they were making research of what the ice bath have a consequence on his body. And this kind of stress, how it can, for example, help with rheuma, with cancer, etc. So, for example, with the rheuma, they have the results that it can decrease the inflammation of the body by even 80%, which actually rheuma is caused by the inflammation. And most of the diseases what we have are also caused by the inflammation. Inflammation is that we have the inner heat from, for example, the bad food, not enough sleep, that we don't take care of ourselves properly. Let's say it's again something like a car. Like if our car is overheating, we need to go to the service and repair it. The same is with our body, that if we have inflammation, we need to somehow reduce it. And you can reduce it by food. You can reduce it by also drinking. You can reduce it by, for example, the ice baths. There are actually researches done. The data are also supported by this method, and it's really mind-blowing. He also spoke about cancer a lot and handicapped people, how, for example, it can help them, and that he has a lot of clients that, for example, yesterday there was the whole camp of the handicapped people who had the mobility issues, and actually like how this ice bath can provide them support during their diseases, etc. Also with the cancer, which was really interesting. And they also are backed by the research and the science, is that he was giving the case of cancer of children, so like actually innocent people who have the cancer. And he was like, okay, have you ever seen a child who was after the chemotherapy? The child after the chemotherapy is not child anymore. They are usually really tired. They don't run around. They are not hyperactive as usual. And they actually don't live the life as they should anymore. Which brings me also to the aspect like why us adults are not vital, why us adults are not running around as we used to when we were children, where we lost this kind of ability of actually discovering discovering stuff with our child curiosity. But then he said that they were actually trying what the chemotherapy would do if they would include the ice bath for the children. And the thing was that if the child was doing a regular ice bath while also having the chemotherapy, the child had still the childhood. The child was hyperactive, the child was having energy and didn't have such a bad consequences of the chemotherapy as the child who didn't do the ice bath. Why is that so? Is that because when we do the ice bath, we put ourselves in the stress point. Our cells in our body, they actually open, and therefore we have boost of immunity, of immune system. So our body, our nervous system start to work, our lives start to be more conscious, because all of our body starts to actually having the movement of something is going on, but it's great actually, because all of the nervous system starts to be alive and the cells open, the immune system start to work. And if you have the chemotherapy in this case, the chemotherapy can really go where it should, like in the cell, and can provide much bigger boost than, for example, when you are not using the ice bath. The main reason why so is the biology of your body. So when you go to the ice bath, you actually have a pain. And at the first, it's not really comfortable. It usually is a really big impulse for the first 30 seconds. So first 30 seconds you do like, but then after 30 seconds you relax, you surrender, and you start to enjoy actually the feeling of it. The best is to smile during that. And I can tell you that the people who were before, like in the morning for the workshop, they didn't have that much smile as they had after the workshop. So it also tells something about the mindset, about how you can work with your stress, how you can work with your body. And that like always when you have a pain, you can better survive it with a positive attitude, which also brings less stress in your life, because in the morning, if you do the ice bath, some stress at work will not mess up with you, I promise. So it brings many different benefits, and I will also talk about it. So then after the speech, actually, the Wim Hof, he tried to do some kind of connection. I actually don't know what was it. He tried to like do some drums and get some resonation from us, but probably we were not that advanced group as he could think. So like then he stopped and we started to do the breathing exercise. How it worked was like, yeah, he just said like, yeah, lie down. And then the only thing that he was saying to us was breathe in, breathe out. With also the other professionals who were there. So like, I think that there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, 6, 7 people with him who actually were overseeing our body's reaction, who were there for us if something was going on during the day. And each of them had kind of strong expertise in something, either being it the biology or being it the movement exercise or the empathy, etc. I have to say that each of the instructor of the Wim Hof had different kind of expertise there. So then we lay down, we closed our eyes, or you didn't need to. And then actually it was the whole concert. This is also why it's a live experience, because usually you can do it also at home, but this time you are having Wim playing drums, other like three people also playing drums, different other people are doing like with their mouth like a let's say something like this. Some people are doing the trumpet. So it's really an experience. It's like a concert. And it was really mind-blowing, and I didn't know what to expect next. So like he's saying like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And then like he's actually doing it faster and faster. And then, like, after we went, I think 1 minute, 1 minute and a half, 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half, and something like this. And then, like, when he actually speed up, breathe in, breathe out, he then tells you, now fill it in, like, completely. So you do, like, and then he says something like, and let it out. So like you do like, and then when you are out, you actually hold your breath when you are at the bottom of your breathing. So it's like you hold it. And you hold it, for example, for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I think that we even went like the last time even for 4 or 5 minutes that some people did. The last one was not that much organized. But I have to say that my experience with that was we did the 4 rounds. The first round was for me the most difficult, because I felt like I'm using a muscle which I never used in my life, or like, I mean, I know some breathing practices, but it was really like, oh my God, like I don't want to do that. Like it's like doing squats, like you know that it's your leg day today, you should do the squats, but it's like during the first series of the squats, you are like, oh my God, again. So like I felt during the first round really like using the muscle that I don't really use that often, even though I'm breathing normally. But I really felt like, oh, I want to stop, like this is too much oxygen and stuff. And also, like, then I started to feel tickling in my body. So I started to be a bit like aware of that, and I didn't know to what extent I can surrender to the feeling, because it was my first time, and I actually didn't know if the people who were there with me, if they were more experienced. So I didn't want to really surrender to that feeling. However, for the second round, I was like, yeah, fuck it. It was better with the breathing. So I even enjoyed it a lot. So I even opened more my chest during the breathing, because you should breathe like with a stomach and chest. So like, so you should like really actively use your core and your energy to be balanced and synchronized, to open your crown. I started to more use my chest and more to really like go into the rhythm, because there were like really people doing a lots of interesting sounds. So I was really breathing into that rhythm, and I started to surrender. Which was a really interesting experience, because you go from sympathicus to parasympathicus, which means from fight and flight to super relaxed level. We were calling it passed out, where you actually can feel during the passing out. So it means when you hold your breath, that your soul is there, that you actually can really feel and see your soul inside you, and that with what you are working with, it's your body. You are just like at that moment you with your soul. And for example, me personally, I was really enjoying that moment, and I could hold my breath much more than usual. They were also showing us the graph, like during the breathing, how much CO2 you have and O2, and how does it work actually during the hold. So when you're holding your breath at the bottom, and it's actually that you can hold your breath more if you are like actually doing this breathing exercise. And then when you go like into the post hold, then you can more increase the CO2. I mean, like this would be Cedric, who would be really useful in this aspect. Unfortunately, he didn't go with me because he had other plans. But in this aspect, he would be really useful for me to explain it now to you guys how the CO2 and these stuff work in the body. I just have it in my mind from the graph, but this is more his domain. So it was very interesting. And then we also did exercise how to boost your sport productivity. So if you, for example, are working in a gym and you want to get better, actually this breathing exercise can really help you with the like more improvements in a short time. And when I speak about the short time, I don't speak about weeks or days, but I speak about the minutes and seconds. So like you can actually improve your performance in sport within 3 minutes, for example. How does it work is you can try it actually now and here. Just do one push-up. Just right now, right here, like stand up, go on the floor and do one push-up. And just sense it. How does it feel? Is it hard? Can you do it like really without any issue? How does it actually feel, this one push-up? Then we will do like 30 breaths. So you will be like going like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and like 30 times like this. So and at the end of the 30 breaths, you actually go full in and full out. And you zip. And you hold your breath. And now when you are holding your breath, you start to do push-ups. And then you will see what is the difference. Usually people, when they were doing it, they actually figure out that they can do more push-ups immediately. They also were able to do it more correctly, the push-up, and they had more adrenaline. So then when they actually finished with the push-ups, they felt great. Like they really felt like that they can move the rocks. Why it was so? Because there was adrenaline, there was a really interesting heartbeat inside their body, and they were using it consciously towards some objective, which in this case was to improve in the sport. After the workshop, so like the first round of the workshop for me was the most difficult to actually get into what we are actually doing because there was no information provided to us. But I started to feel like tickling, etc. And I was like questioning, okay, now I'm on the crossroad, should I surrender or not? But I was like, yeah, I'm among the professionals. So I surrendered and I was really paralyzed. My whole body was like paralyzed. I felt like I am holding in my hands two balls and I really look at my soul inside my body. And then it went also the third round. I was also paralyzed and I was getting deeper. The problem was that after the third round, I started to have a bit of pain, like from lying, so that it was not that comfortable. So I wanted to put the sweater under my head, which put me out from that paralyzed state, and my heartbeat started to race. So actually during the paralyzed state, I had quite a low heartbeat, to be honest. But then when I get out from it, it started to like rise like a crazy. So the fourth round of the breathing workshop, I didn't enjoy that much because I was really like having really high heartbeat. So yeah, this was my experience. But it's also that I'm coming from already being exposed to the ice bath, to the breathing exercise, etc. So I knew that I have it under control to some extent, and I felt confident. However, there were quite a lot of people who never did these things before. So I heard stories that it was quite scary. I also heard people crying during that exercise. I also heard stories that there was a wife and husband, and the husband looked like a really and the wife was scared, but then like one of the professionals like took him out from that state. There was another American who said that he almost died actually during that because his heartbeat was like super high. So then we were actually discussing to what extent it's secure or safe, and they said that they had only one incident when they all needed to actually assist to the person throughout the whole life of Wim Hof method, that usually that it's not dangerous. The breath work is not dangerous, and it's something like tripping. So like you just have a really good trip, that you really experience even sometimes psychedelic experience, that you can see the light at the end, or it's a really individual. So like for me it was like having a ball in having a balls in a hands. I think that it was like something like chakras, that I really activated my nervous system, and I was really opened towards all of my energies. However, different people can have different background, different traumas, etc., and it can get out because you are really closely speaking there with your soul. So it was really interesting, and why it's not dangerous is because you cannot stop breathing. So even if you would hold your breath for longer, or let's say forget to breathe, you will eventually breathe. That your body actually have this reaction, and it's not possible to actually die during this exercise. It can lead to maximum like something that you will, if you know, like when you are sleeping and then you, for example, have a dream about falling, like from the roof or something, then it's like, so like eventually you will wake up from that state, from the breathing exercise, from like a really deep working exercise. You will wake up, and it will be something like because our body just function this direction, and there is no danger in this aspect, and it's important to know this. And I think that they should stress it out before even going in this workshop, because I think that many people who didn't know or who didn't have experience with the breathing exercises before, they could actually scare themselves, which then make them go into the different state than they should. So like if, for example, I take the experience of the American who had a really fast heartbeat, that he thought that he will die, I would also freak out if I wouldn't know like what the fuck is going on with me. So then he actually started to scare himself, like, I'm different, is there something wrong? Also, he was not the youngest, so if there was some like a past history with the heart, then it could like also freak him out even more. So I think that this should be stressed at the beginning, that it's not dangerous. You will wake up eventually, you can surrender, just be conscious about your traumas, and you can also relieve it there. So because you will meet your soul. So I was already like, my mind was blown after this. So I was like, okay, even if this whole weekend is about this, I am already really satisfied. The ice baths should still happen, you know? So then after we had lunch, everything is vegan. So if you are vegan or vegetarian, you will have a pre. It was really good also for the meat eaters, because there was, even though there was no meat, everything was really delicious. From the soup to there was salad, there was also some pastries, then ice cream, also other stuff. So like you don't need to be worried if you have some dietary restrictions. Because I was a bit worried, and I took with myself a shake in case, just to have a backup, because if it would be something that I would not like to eat, then I want to have my backup, which is protein. But in this case, I didn't need to use it because the food was really nice and was a really good catering. There's also tea, coffee, etc. So then we had a lunch where we could actually speak with each other. So as I arrived here alone, I was really talkative. I spoke with a lot of people about their experiences. So it was really interesting. The most interesting about this whole workshop is actually to release your inner child and to play around like a child. So I really took it this direction. And so, for example, for the lunch, when I saw a girl eating on the floor alone, I just came to her and I sit on the floor with her and we were just chatting. And the whole time I was like, running around, and it's really relieving. Also, in the terms of the clothing, that we could really be more free in terms of the clothing, because Wim Hof himself, he's having something that actually my father is dreaming about, and it's it's not a skirt, it's not a dress, it's like a poncho, like a big poncho. But it's really comfortable also, like when you go to the ice bath and you to put it on yourself so that you warm up. So I really liked it. I want to ask him like where did he buy it. So I actually have 4 questions for him tomorrow, and to sign my book, because for Valentine's Day I actually get from Cedric a book, Wim Hof, so I want to get it signed. I don't have a pen. So I will maybe ask at the reception here at the hotel if they can borrow me a pen or something, because I'm really like, shit, I don't have a pen. But I want to send message to Honza, to my brother, from Wim Hof, because I know how he loves Wim Hof. I want also Wim Hof to speak a bit about innovatology. I want to have a selfie with Wim Hof, and then I want to ask him where did he buy his poncho, because it's just like really cool. Then after the lunch, we had a bit of question and answer, because a lot of people were just left with the questions after the workshop, because we actually didn't know what was going on with us. And Wim Hof, he just left. Before the lunch, he had ice bath himself in his ice bath, naked, so we couldn't follow him or anything. I just saw his ass for a tiny bit when he was getting out from the ice bath, actually, which was by mistake that I was just like going around, and then I turned and I saw the Iceman ass, but yeah. And then we had this question and answer, which was really needed, because I wanted to ask about the different timings. So how can I incorporate it into my daily life, because the workshop was quite long, I guess. So indeed, the guy said that this is life experience and it's like really prolonged. It takes a long time, that we even hold the breath for 5 minutes, and that at home it would be like 2-3 minutes, that we should download the app, WHM, or on YouTube there is something like bubble method or bubble breathing. I don't know, I didn't yet search about it, but and that this is available, where we can actually practice these breathing exercises with these applications or with these tools. And it's usually about 2-3 minutes. So it's really possible to put it in your daily life, which I would really love to. And usually I am not into doing ice baths as such. I was always missing some kind of exercise. So usually I really love to do ice bath after running. However, not every time I have time for a run, and when I bike, I'm not that much having like warm up of my body. So this breathing exercise is actually perfect for the focus, and then having a bit of this exercise, which is really Wim Hof's signature, which I will also talk about later. So actually, with this app, you can do the breathing exercise for 2-3 minutes. Then you gain the focus. Then you start to do the exercise, and then you go to the ice bath and you continue with the exercise, with the breathing. and you are finished. Within 10 minutes, you are done of your mindfulness, of your meditation, with connection of your consciousness and with your soul. Perfect. So this will be my new routine, my new challenge from now on, because I really loved it. And then actually we went into the ice bath itself. So I actually didn't have the swimming suit of myself because I was driving, etc. And so I was a bit confused, like where can I get the swimming suit on myself, because there was only two toilets and two showers. So I was a bit like worried about this. Did people actually arrive with the swimming suit already? But no, you can actually like change yourself in the toilet, or some people did it also in the yurt, if you know some good way how to do it, like without showing people you yourself naked. So this is immediately after the question and answer, where people get into the different groups. And the first was to go to the ice bath for the 3 minutes, and then again for the 2 minutes. They recommend to do both. So the 3 minutes is actually for some people for the first time. For me, it was actually my record so far, because before I did maximum 2 minutes, and the 3 minutes was my record. When we were asking about why 3 minutes, they just said, yeah, because Wim Hof said 3 minutes, so this is why. They also said that he's really crazy, so it's that when he decided he will arrive at 11, he arrives at 11. If he said that we will do the ice bath for 3 minutes, we will do ice bath for 3 minutes. So also like tomorrow it starts at 11, and they told us like be here probably at 10 already, because Wim can arrive also earlier, so let's do it like this. So he's genius, but he's also very crazy, and he's quite vulgar. So like it's like a breathe motherfucker. What is his also signature phrase? So it's a very interesting person, I have to say. And then so we did the 3 minutes. I actually was waiting until the end. Because I wanted to give people the space to go. Also, like I think that it's quite smart, because then you don't need to stand in the cold more than needed, because when you do it as the last, then people go for the second round. So it's then like you stand just once. And so then like you go for the 3 minutes. So like you actually like start to do the exercise without actually having the ice bath even. So the exercise goes like this, that you breathe in the center. And really important is the stand. So the stand is that you actually are like in the squat, like as low as possible. So like you go on the squat, and you put your tailbone actually front. So I will show you. So we squat, and then tailbone to the front, and then I will go back. And then as low as possible, tailbone, and then always in the center we are breathing. And then and you can imagine if 60 people is doing this exercise, how powerful is that? A lot. And you really do like so and I actually discovered that it's really helping, and it's like you can say like why this movement, right? And it's actually like after my second ice bath, so after the 2 minutes, so the second one, there were people around me like dancing. So like they didn't do this movement, but they were like dancing, you know, like Macarena, blah blah blah. And I really wanted to do it as well, but the problem was that my nerves didn't allow me to do so. I never felt something like this. I was doing, it reminded me like with pulsetto, so this device for the vagus nerve, which is activating all of the nerves through here. And I really felt like usually you feel it here, the activation of the nerve. However, after the second bath, where we should get the resilience towards that you can go to the cold even while being cold, and I really felt this vibration throughout my whole body. I touched my hand and I really felt like my nerves under the skin, and like how everything is getting activated in my body and being alive. Really, it was amazing feeling. However, I couldn't do any other movement than this. Like I tried to really like do this stuff, but the more I was like impulsive, the more it was painful. But this exercise really helped me, and it's not that invasive for my body after the ice bath. So it's really helpful. It's important to keep moving. So like it's not like that you stand and wait for your ice bath, because in the ice bath there can be maximum, I think, 10 to 12 people. We were 60 people in total. So there were many rounds, so we needed to exchange. And it's not that like you stand and wait in your swimming suit, right? Like you always do some movement. You should not stop. You are always in your squat position, so you use your massive muscles to actually get grounded and to actually get the blood circulation and the focus before. So it was very interesting. And then after this, we had dinner. Also like before the dinner, they were telling us some more information about what is actually happening with us. What are our feelings? Are we proud of ourselves? So of course, like everybody were proud, because I think that there were many records done that day. And yeah, we felt pain, we felt fear, we felt happiness, we felt also the sharing community. So I think that there will be a lot of footage then. But I actually was always the last, and I was actually the only girl around boys. But what we did was that we started to chant usually during the ice bath, and I think that we were the only group who did it. But it gave some kind of the team spirit that we are not alone, that you are not alone in the pain, that other people actually feel it as well, that you are not weird. So we were like 10 people, 9 men and me. I never have been in ice bath, in a bath in general with that many men. But it was quite funny. I actually made this joke. Everybody were laughing. But it was really like, because there should be done during the ice bath. There is like a different stages. So you just like you go there, you stand in the ice bath before everybody gets in the ice bath, because like to get 10, 12 people into ice bath, it takes some time. So you just stand in it. And then they say like 3, 2, 1, go, and then you go like really like this with your hands. So you can put your hands on the belly or on your legs. The best is on the belly because it's the warmest. And everybody goes into the water. The first 30 seconds is horrible. It's like but then like they are telling you like breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, focus, etc. So then you start to actually enjoy it. And the best is really to smile, to really like focus on something funny. So for me, it was like that I am with so many men in an ice bath, so I was making jokes. Or then like when it gets into the second minute, you then start to actually breathe much longer. So like, and this is where the chanting is actually really interesting, because it prolongs your breath and your focus. So this helped me a lot. And then of course, like you get out from the ice bath and you are red like crazy, and you have to start to do oh my god, that was so nice. I really love it. Thank you for this experience. Sorry, I'm so grateful for this moment. So yeah, this was the day 1 of the workshop, and tomorrow we have another challenge, which will be, we will be spending the whole day with the Wim Hof himself, and we will have professional photographer. We should meet at 10, and we will be having ice bath for 10 minutes. So I am ready. I am ready to be challenged, and I am really curious what this will do to my body and to my mindset, because this is the boss. The brain is the boss. And the other things, what is working in your body, is just to keep this alive. So when you feel the pain in your hands and in your legs, it's totally all right, because it means that the blood is circulating out of your legs and hands, and putting it to the most important organs of your body, which means here and especially here. So remember, this is your boss, and you should train that boss to be conscious about the decisions and how to use also the different team members, which means the blood cells, the glucose, the muscles, the immune system. All of this has to serve to be conscious here, and especially here in your soul and your inner child. Another cool day with Wim. So finally we are at the end of the exercise, of the workshop, of the whole training of the ice bath. I got Binny, you can see, yeah. So it was a really amazing experience, and it was actually investment in myself, but also in other people who are with me, because I really feel that I will not be the same person as I was before this workshop. So it has only in the good aspect that even after the first part of today, I was affirming the gratitude that I can be with these people who were there, and that this is really something I would like to spend my days with, my weekends with, because I think that this is something really missing, that after the 5 days of work, when we don't really find the time of connecting with us, and there is not lots of gratitude, hugs and affirmations, that the weekend like this is really nice and really needed, where we can connect with ourselves but also with like-minded people. So this kind of idea I want to still get resonate with me, what I will do about it, and how I will adjust this, how I will actually, how I will attract these kind of like-minded people to do these kind of things with us, with me. And this is something that I'm also bringing as a brainstorming from the workshop session. So today we actually should originally meet at 11 a.m. according to the whole program. So like we should meet at 11 a.m. But yesterday they told us that we can meet already at 10 a.m. because you never know with Wim when he will come. They were also saying that Wim is crazy but genius. So that it's recommended that we will come already at 10. So in case that that Wim would just come in earlier. So, but I took my time in the morning because everything was so painful after yesterday. So I had a bit of muscle ache, but I think it's also because I was lacking protein, because there was lots of vegan food and we did a lots of exercise, and I didn't have enough protein during that day. So I think that I was tired slightly because of that. What I was also worried in the morning is that my heart rate got quite elevated in the Aura ring. So I could see that the heart rate is slightly elevated, the HRV, and also the lowest heart rate during your sleep. So I want to see if it was because of such a big occasion like this workshop, that because I needed to travel for a long time, I mean like 2 hours in the car, you also don't have your usual regime, etc., and then the ice bath. So I'm really curious if this state is because it was such an occasion, or if it was because of the ice bath. So I want to measure now my heart rate. More how actually the ice bath is influencing this me individually. I don't say that ice baths are elevating the heart rate for everybody, but this is just my observation from me as an individual. When it comes to the glucose, I have positive results. So I could see that when, for example, I ate yesterday fruits, and then I had the ice bath, that the ice bath actually regulated the blood sugar. So this is from my experience so far really positive, and I was also searching for more scientific research about it, and it's indeed the truth that the ice baths can regulate the blood sugar and even can treat the diabetes. So this I could also see from the glucose monitoring that I have here. Whereas the heart is something that I am now focusing, because I had quite elevated heart rate in 2023 because of stress, because of lots of new projects coming, then lots of travelings, and also drinking during the weekends, or like with friends, with family, like really occasional. But then like when you travel, you drink, you have a one drink or like one evening drinking during your travels, then you come back, then you go to Czechia, you drink again. It's like never ending story. So like actually my heart was not really relaxed last year. It was not something that I would have a heart stroke or something similar, but I could see the pattern that actually I could not recover my body completely. So I started to more pay attention to it. So I'm a bit worried about the ice bath, that it might do something with the heart rate, but I will also update you later what are my observations. So about today, at the beginning we had the plank for 3 minutes. I didn't really understand why we should like just like warm up ourselves, but for me, like in the morning, it was a bit of killer. And then we had a breathing exercise like yesterday, but this time we knew what we are doing. So it was really interesting to then coordinate our needs, because yesterday it was like really an experience, like pushed into the water and swim. But this time it was really more about like, okay, like we already did it yesterday, we are doing it now again, and we can actually coordinate the different breaths, different ending, holding, etc. So it was really interesting. I didn't have such a strong experience as yesterday though, because yesterday it was for me something new, so I was really feeling much more tripping than today. But it was still a very good trip, as they say, because you are like really making yourself high and psychedelic just because of breathing the air, nothing more, nothing less, which is a really interesting state. And then after this, actually Wim came and he was again having a bit of speech. He can speak forever, I have to say, because like he's a really talkative person, and he really loves to speak about the different science and about the like the balance, etc. Also, an interesting statement from him was that the governments are trying to keep the healthy economies, but not healthy people, which is definitely true. So something also to think about, that really our government doesn't want to have healthy people, but they want to have a healthy economy. So they actually put the money over the people, which I also don't think that it's really right, which was also really interesting. And he again spoke about the children who are having the cancer, and how this ice bath can really help them in the treatment and in supporting them with the cancer, etc. So this was very interesting again to hear. And then we went for the ice bath for 10 minutes, as he challenged us yesterday. I had a really prepared mindset for that. I was like, yeah, I'm now here, and I want to do the 10 minutes ice bath. The problem was that it was quite cold in the Netherlands today, and it was also raining. So actually we were doing the warm up in the rain. And as yesterday I wanted to give the space to other people. I didn't want to rush or anything inside the ice bath. However, then I actually ended up almost having no ice bath, because there was not enough space. And after, like, we went with one girl alone in the ice bath, which was great because we had lots of space. However, it was after dancing 40 minutes in the rain, so we were already super cold, just dancing in a swimming suit in the rain for 40 minutes. and waiting for having our ice bath. So then we actually reduced it to the 6 minutes because to really be exposed to the cold for such a long time was really then dangerous, let's say. So then, or not dangerous, because like there is nothing that can happen to you, right? Like if you have your inner fire, if you did the exercise before, etc., there is nothing dangerous. But let's say that everybody were already ready, and it was also for our first time. I did record. I never made 6 minutes in the ice bath. Let's say like step by step. 10 minutes is maximum in this experience. So I'm glad that we did the 6 minutes, because then I had problem with my hands, which I was prepared yesterday for. Like during the 2-3 minutes, I didn't have like I got used to, let's say, to the cold water, and I don't have this problem anymore. However, these 6 minutes, like my nervous system was really alarming. That not even the feet, but I had really problem with my left fingertips. So I could really feel, especially here in the middle one. It even like I still felt it like even 5 hours after the ice bath, that the nerves got activated, or I don't know what, like even like my nails were painful on inside the hands, and it took really long time for my hands to recover, which I think is good and bad. Like it was a short-term pain for, I think, long-term benefits, because really all of my body got the blood circulation as it should, and all of the toxins got out from my nervous system, from my body, etc. So I only see it as an advantage. But it was really painful. Like at some points, like when I was focusing on the pain, and I really like I was putting my hands on my face to really feel them and to heat them as quickly as possible, even though I was already in sauna. So this is also something that I'm bringing from the whole Wim Hof experience, is that after the ice bath, it's okay to have the sauna or to have the jacuzzi, which I actually thought that is not right, that it should be vice versa, that first you should go to sauna and then having an ice bath, and that after the ice bath you should not even have like a warm shower. But we really had immediately after, like after the ice bath, we usually had the exercise. So you do the exercise that I was showing you yesterday, and then when you finish the exercise and your blood is getting into the places where it actually was reduced, then you can go to jacuzzi and sauna, which then like even in sauna I couldn't feel my hands, so then I started to be a bit worried, because I also needed to stand in sauna, because it was like super crowded, because everybody were there with Wim, who was like speaking about his experiences and what he's doing, etc., what he's up for right now. And I felt a bit dizzy, because I started at some point really focusing on the hands and how I cannot really feel them. And then I started to feel a bit like panicking, but it was really just like for 2 seconds. And then I did the breathing exercise inside the sauna, so I actually get me out from the panic, from the panicking, which helped me a lot with then the hands and everything. So it was great. And then we went immediately for lunch, where we had tomato soup and again salad and vegan food. So it was really nice. But again, like I'm more like high protein diet, so I was really missing some kind of protein. And then we had the pictures, we could speak together. We also had like the cycle of sharing, so what we really liked about the workshop, how do we feel. So I was really feeling the gratitude for everybody who actually were sharing what they are bringing from this session, from this workshop to their homes, what they're grateful for. There were people really crashing their boundaries, their inner darkness, releasing the inner child. So everything was really as it should. I also was dreaming to some extent, like for a long time, to be in such a treatment of people. Like it's really, the workshop is about like releasing all of the traumas, all of your inner child. And there were like people even crying and like really living the experience during the breath work and also inside the ice bath, that it was really relieving, and like you could really feel the vibrations. So there are also like scientific papers about that when you get into this state, that you are actually vibrating, and that it can even be seen on 9 meters or 90 meters. I'm not now sure, I would need to look for the scientific paper, but it's like a quantum physics, and it's really interesting. I think that the whole room was like vibrating like crazy, because all of us were just in that state. So it was like super cool. And then we had the pictures, and we could share everything. For me, it was mainly that for me it was not only the body was shaking, but also my soul was shaking, and that I cannot wait for actually applying these exercises to my loved ones, to Cedric, to my parents, to my brother, to my family, my relatives, and to everybody I will actually meet and know, because this is just amazing, and like this we can do a world better place, because it's really needed. It's really needed for all of the illnesses we are having. It's really needed for what we are doing as our jobs, etc. And it's such simple thing. I also get my book signed, so I have a signed Wim Hof book with his signature. I also recorded a short video to my brother to say him hi, because my brother is actually the one who showed me the Wim Hof method, and we did a few times the ice bath together in a lake in our city, Brandis. So it's actually his a job that I could be in this workshop today, and that I am a better person actually. So I recorded him a video for I said to Wim actually to say hi to my brother. So it was really really nice, and then we took picture together. There was also one guy who really was feeling the experience, and then he was also sharing with us the song that he actually, his inner child is singing, and that he's Lion Man. So it was also really interesting to know all of these people, even though it was 60 people during this weekend. You could really feel the energy. You could speak with people, what they are doing, what is their jobs, etc. So I really liked this connection, even though there was mobile policy. Now I wrote into the WhatsApp chat, which we have, where we also share the pictures. I write my Instagram, my LinkedIn, and my Facebook, so that we can connect, because I want to stay in touch. I want to follow the people's journeys, what they are doing, because this is really important when the people like you are there, and you want to see what they're up for, because then it can be also interesting for your future developments. You can take them on the board with your business or something. So I am really glad for these exercises, and I will now do my best to actually practice this on a daily or weekly. I didn't decide yet how I will do it. I want to also research more about the differences between men and women. So like how is it with making the ice bath during your cycle period, because this was something that was not told. So like all of the instructors and also Wim Hof himself were men. There was only one woman, but I didn't, the question just didn't pop up for me to ask actually, but I think that there will definitely be some research is done. What is the difference between the different genders, and the impact of the ice bath in the different stages of your period. So this is something that I still want to observe, because there are definitely some stages that I feel more like ice bath than the others. So like for example in ovulation, to have the ice bath because you feel really up for the challenges and you are the strongest. I can also imagine like after having the period, but not really sure about the stage before and during. So this is something that I am usually requiring glutes and heat during these weeks. So I will really do also experimentation on myself. How do I feel it? How my body and the measurements are looking when doing it in different stages. And then I will see if I will do it on a weekly or daily basis, and how I will combine it with the sauna, infrared sauna from Prasanna, what we have, and also with the breathe exercise. What I would also like to do is I would like to start to play the drums. So like this is something that I am now also into, maybe getting more artistic in this aspect. And I get really inspired by the Wim Hof method, by how the people were doing it, and I want to get more into this area. So yeah, it was wonderful, and I feel so grateful, and I would just recommend it to anybody, this workshop. It's really nice, and I think that you don't even need to have a workshop with a Wim as such. You can also do it probably in your city, in your country. There are many Wim Hof instructors you can find. There are many workshops happening around the world. WimHofMethod.com, and you can also establish your profile. You can get in touch with people. You can also make your own community. So it's really interesting. So check it out.